I enjoyed the movies. I found it very interesting to see how you used to live.
Well, I'm glad there'll be some record of my life, however short it might be.
Oh, come on, Paige, please. Will you knock that stuff off?
Can't help it, Steve. I mean, seeing my 18th birthday like that, it was... I couldn't help wondering whether or not I was going to have another one, or blow out any candles, or make a wish.
You will. I promise you. Don't forget, you've got me now as your bodyguard.
I guess tonight's as good a time as any.
So, when's your next birthday?
About a month.
A month? Huh. In a month we'll clear this whole thing up. I mean, maybe we'll catch your old friend Jed and the rest of the gang.
How will you know?
How will we know what?
How will you know you got the whole gang, since I don't even know how many there are?
Look, don't you worry about it. All we have to do is catch a couple of these guys alive. They should tell us everything we want to know.
We. You still call the police we.
We. Yeah, that's an old habit. Hard to break. I guess I was on the force for a long time.
7 years, huh? Some people wouldn't consider it too long, but 7 years in the life of a police officer's a while.
A lot can happen. A whole lifetime can happen in 24 hours on the force.
Time is a very funny thing. I mean, when I saw those movies of the old house in Beverly Hills, that seemed like a century ago.
How about your party? Was that a century ago?
No, not really.
Paige, how long after the party before Brian took off?
Oh, about a week or 10 days, as a matter of fact. He just left a note for Mother and said he'd forward more information when he got a permanent address.
Ah, nobody knew that he wanted to join the Navy, right?
No, God, no. Nobody had any idea. He never made any mention of joining the military. He just said that he just read a lot of books on war and about battle and foreign correspondence. But that's what he was interested in, the correspondence, not the war.
So the next time you heard from Brian, he was Seaman Brian Madison.
Yes. Steve, I couldn't help but notice your face at the birthday party.
My face?
So, yeah.
What was the matter with my face?
You were surprised that I kissed Brian?
Well, I thought he kissed you. I mean, you were the birthday girl, right?
Uh-huh. Well, it was hardly a brotherly kiss.
Well, I didn't even think about it. I mean, he's only your stepbrother.
Well, yes, but I think it was pretty obvious I had a crush on him. I did. I was at a very romantic period. And he was there. Of course, he wasn't the first. There were others. There was a couple of guys at Hollywood High. And then my English teacher at Davis, who looked like Humphrey Bogart and had a voice like Richard Burton.
So you and Brian knew each other since you were little kids, right?
Yeah. Our families knew each other. My dad worked with his dad at the studio. And then, as you know, with Hollywood, it's a very small town. Brian and I went to different schools. And next time I saw Brian, he was all grown up. And Daddy married Nola. Brian came to live with me in my house, and I was 16 at the time. Well, you know what they say about proximity.
Paige, why do you think Brian left the room when we were showing the movies?
Oh, I guess he got bored. He was embarrassed.
Can I get you anything else, Miss Madison?
Oh, yeah, Louise. I would really like some more wine.
Yes, ma'am.
How about you, Steve?
No, I'll take some coffee. Help me keep awake.
Yeah, you've been up since the crack of dawn, patrolling the grounds. Why don't you go to sleep?
Yeah, that's a very sensible idea, isn't it? Listen, before I forget, here I am. Got a little something for you. Just think of it as an early birthday present.
Come on, Scarlett, I just asked you for a nightcap. We didn't ask for a pair of pajamas.
That's very funny.
Oh, thank you.
Well, we had a nightcap at the Unicorn.
2 caps are better than 1?
All right, you won this time. 1 drink. okay? And you gotta go.
Of course.
I'm so tired.
Well, then why don't you just relax, take it easy? Why don't you go in there and take off your shoes, curl up those cute little pink toes of yours, and I'll do this myself, huh?
You know, you really know how to make yourself at home, don't you, Mr. Nelson?
That's one of my most endearing qualities. In fact, I love your apartment. A lot better than mine. I like you better than my roommate. Why don't we make a trade, huh?
What, my apartment? Roommate, what?
No, both of them. I'll give that apartment to him, and I'll move in here with you.
No, sorry, I snore.
That's great. We can do two-part harmony. I take it you want the all-American part, huh? Steve Guthrie, blonde hair and blue eyes. Telling you, you should give us black Irishmen a chance. Sure, and we wouldn't have a lot of fun, Faith and Begorra. Those are my two sisters, Faith and Begorra.
Aren't you ever serious, Cliff?
Sure, I'm serious about my work. I'm serious about wanting to be district attorney. My dad said never be serious about women because they'll start inviting you over to meet their mothers.
You've never been really trapped, have you?
Nope.
Never engaged?
Well, I wouldn't mind engagement. I just don't like entanglement. See, unfortunately, Scarlett, most women aren't as sensible as you are about marriage. They don't realize that it's possible to have all that fun without any of the drawbacks.
Back off, babyface.
Not interested in fun?
No.
More interested in Steve.
Why do you keep talking about him?
Because you won't talk about him. You don't talk about anything. How are we supposed to have a deep and meaningful relationship when you won't talk about yourself?
Well, I thought your most favorite subject was yourself.
It used to be, but lately I've been more interested in you. In fact, I've done a little research and I dug up some old newspaper files on you.
What files?
No, actually, not you, on your father, Tony Saxon.
Why did you do that?
Because I want to get some insight into your personality. Now, from what I understand, they said you were really crazy about him, even though he was obviously quite a crook.
He was a politician.
Yeah, sure. How could a guy so despicable have a daughter as wonderful as you? You know, I bet you could write a good bestseller about him.
I want to talk about this, Cliff.
What is this? You don't want to talk about this? You want to talk about Steve?
I don't want to talk about anything. I want you to get the hell out of my house right now.
Hey, calm down now. Take it easy. Look, I haven't even finished my
You have
drink.
the ability of going too far, Cliff.
Scarlett, I think you're just getting away with this.
Hi, Daddy.
Hey, you all right?
Sure. I just thought I'd finish my wine before I finish climbing the stairs.
Oh, boy. Sorry about tonight.
Sorry about what?
Oh, I'm just sorry I let Nola talk me into showing those films. I had no idea what trouble it was going to cause.
What trouble?
I just didn't realize that that birthday party was in it. I would never have shown it if I did.
Well, why not? It was one of your better films. Camera didn't even wobble at all. Much.
You know what I mean. And it obviously upset Brian, and that upset Nola, and...
Now you're upset. Why should you be? I never hid my feelings towards Brian. I didn't expect him to record it for posterity, but I'm not upset.
Honey, come on, you were just a kid. It was just a schoolgirl crush. You know that.
Whatever you say, Daddy. Oh, where did Brian go?
Oh, he's just upstairs in his room. I looked in, he was reading. Nola's in her room watching TV.
Well, since the entire household has retired, I think I will join them.
Hey, Paige, I just... Oh, no. Never mind.
Okay. Mwah.
Good night, you.
Good night. Sure.
Sleep well.
Yep.
Detective Sachs. Police number. home number.
Hello?
Deborah, it's Owen Madison. How was your dinner date?
Oh, fine. Well, I just got rid of him. I shouldn't say that, I guess. It was fine. Owen, is everything all right?
Oh, everything's fine. Fine. No, I'm not calling you to report any trouble. I'm just calling to talk to you for a few minutes about the case and so forth.
I see.
Yeah, we didn't have much time to talk about it earlier. You had to rush off on your date.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have come by, but I was off duty. I had some time to kill. If you would like to come over to headquarters tomorrow, it's fine with me. If you have any questions you'd like to discuss.
No, I don't have any questions exactly. I just thought perhaps we might exchange some ideas about the case. I really don't have any more information than you do right now, but Paige always can say something that might be helpful.
Has she said anything?
No, nothing in particular.
No, I just thought maybe you and I might exchange some theories about the case, you know, about the gun runners, about her friend Tobias.
Yes. Well, if you'd like to come over to headquarters tomorrow, I'll be there all day.
Oh, I tell you, I just don't relish the idea of coming down to police headquarters. I just, it occurred to me that maybe we could talk about it over dinner.
Dinner?
Well, not here, although, of course, we'd love to have you come over sometime, but I was thinking perhaps, in a restaurant.
I see.
That is, if you're free, say, tomorrow evening. Are you off duty?
Yes, I'm off duty, and I guess I am free.
Well, that's fine. That's just fine.
Look, April, if the idea of going to New York makes you so unhappy, you don't have to go with me.
No. No, Draper, I was wrong to say what I did. Of course, I'll go to New York with you. It's just a little overexcited.
No, you had an honest gut reaction. The idea of leaving Monticello for New York makes you sick to your stomach.
Yeah, well, that's not the only thing that hurts.
Yeah, I'm upset myself. That phone call certainly ruined dinner.
Well, no, I couldn't taste anything.
Well, the food was good, believe me. I mean, I enjoyed it. I'm sure Mike and Nancy did, too.
Yeah, well, what they didn't enjoy was that we fought through the whole meal.
We didn't fight throughout the meal, believe me. You said you weren't going to say another word. After the phone call, you didn't.
Draper, I acted abominably, and I know it. And I am very ashamed of myself. And of course I will go to New York with you. Nancy was right. If it were Mike who was invited to go to meet the other members of that law firm, she would make sure that she would go no matter if she had a job or not.
It's not necessary, April, believe me. They just want to take a fast look at me. Hell, they may not even want me.
That's not true. Draper, they're going to take one look at you. They're going to hear you speak. And they're going to know immediately that you are perfect for the job. Don't you understand that's what scares me?
What's that supposed to mean? That you want them to hate me?
No! No, I want them to know that it's wrong to tear a family away from a home, a brand new home, just for a title and a few extra dollars.
A few extra dollars? April, don't you realize that the minute I get my first paycheck with him, I will have doubled my income?
What difference does that make, Draper? It costs twice as much to live in New York.
No, it doesn't, April. I looked at the cost of living index. Monticello ranks right up there with L.A., Chicago, New York, all of them.
Draper, I looked at it too, and it does cost a lot more money to rent an apartment or buy a house. Who wants to live in one of those dirty, dingy little apartments with a roaring elevated train going by every
April, that's an antiquated view of New York. The elevated trains were torn down years ago.
Well, it's still dirty.
And it's not safe.
And it's alive and it's exciting with thousands of wonderful restaurants and live theater. You're going to love it, April. It'll be strange at first, but you'll get used to it. And April, Monticello's only a couple of hours away by plane. April, I may never have another job offer like this again as long as I live. In time, people are going to forget all about Winter Austin. What's going to happen to me then? Well, what'll I be? Just another small-town attorney scrounging around for a client. I couldn't stand that, April.
Draper, I want you to be happy. I don't want to stand in your way.
Oh, you couldn't stand in my way, no matter what you did. And as far as being happy, it's just not my career that makes me happy. It's you, it's my marriage. And when you're miserable, I'm miserable. It's as simple as that. The last thing I ever want to do is make any kind of decision that's going to hurt our marriage. So, when we go to New York, if they offer me the job, you decide that, well, you just can't stand it there, that you would hate living there, and you ask me not to accept the job, I'll turn it down.
Draper, do you mean that?
Yeah. But you gotta promise me something. That you're not going to make up your mind beforehand, that you won't make any decision until you think about what this means to me. To us. Not just for now, April, but for all of our years together. I know it's a difficult decision. It's a lot of me to ask of you, April. But just think. I mean, see how it feels.
I'll try. I promise you that. I'll try.
Oh. Oh, you know, I love you so much. I mean, you're on my mind constantly, regardless of what I'm doing. And the last thing I would ever do is hurt you.
I know that. Oh, I love you. And whatever made me think that love was simple.
Still up.
Come on in, Daddy.
Just want to make sure you were all right. You looked a little troubled when I said goodnight to you.
Isn't that the way I normally look these days?
Well, I certainly wouldn't blame you if you did.
I guess those home movies upset me a little bit more than I thought. Seeing everybody together and happier.
Well, I tell you, I think those home movies are an invention of the devil. I really do. They remind us of who we used to be. I think we ought to burn every damn reel and purge ourselves of the past.
Well, then you do remember, don't you? I mean, how happier Brian was.
Yeah. So were you, too, honey.
Daddy, you are going to get Brian that job in Monticello. You said you would.
Oh, honey, I don't have any influence in Monticello.
Yes, you do. You know Margot Huntington, and she owns her own TV station. She could help.
It's the first time I've ever heard you and Noel agree on the same thing.
Daddy, you gotta do something. Promise me you will.
Honey, I think it's a mistake. Now, you know how I feel. I just think that Brian is going to be a lot better off if he's on his own. You gotta let go. Paige, you gotta let go of people sooner or later.
I don't want to let go.
I know you do. But I'm telling you, couldn't you tell from Brian's reaction? He just doesn't want to be part of this family.
Daddy, you know what I think sometimes?
What's that?
Sometimes I think you don't want Brian to be part of the family. I really think you resent him for some reason.
That's just not true.
Well, then how come you haven't looked happy since he came back home? And how come you looked so relieved when he said he was leaving?
Paige, I gave you my reason.
No. You gave me some vague explanation about how he upset the house and upset Nola. Well, did you see Nola at dinner tonight? Did you ever see her look so happy? It was all because her son said he was going to stay.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you one thing. No matter what Brian does, it's not going to be my decision, or Nola's, or yours, for that matter. I tell you, that boy has a mind of his own.
I know. And I also know he's not a boy.
Well, that's true. I guess it's those home movies. Made me feel like I was young again. I used to think of Brian as a boy. And you as my little girl.
You're still young, Daddy.
Oh.
Don't you remember those girls at college? They wouldn't believe you were my father. They thought you were some slightly older boyfriend.
How about that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you were happy in those days, too, weren't you?
Yeah, well, I guess I better get out of here and let you sleep, huh?
I can't keep my eyes open. I mean, that wine really knocked me out.
Okay.
Mwah.
Sleep well now.
Good night, Daddy.
Oh, Louise. Those for Paige?
Yes, sir.
She's just getting to sleep now. Bring them in the morning.
Yes, sir. You can't wait until the morning.